Believe it or not, you can achieve incredible results using just your body weight in just 3 weeks with this video. That's why I'm going to show you 4 powerful exercises that will help you
build muscle quickly, all without equipment. That's right, no equipment needed. So stay until the end, because the last exercise is a game changer and will
completely transform your body and life. It's a true Swiss Army knife that not only builds muscle, but also burns fat, like crazy in just a few days. So let's get to the video. Number 4. Push-ups. If there's one exercise that will never go out of style, it's the push-up. That's no coincidence. This is one of the most complete upper body movements out there, and best of all, it requires no equipment, can be done anywhere, and actually works. But there's a problem. Most people do push-ups incorrectly. This not only reduces the effectiveness of the exercise, but can also cause pain and unnecessary strain on the joints. So if you really want to gain strength and muscle with push-ups, you need to understand how this exercise works, how to do it correctly, and how to progress to more advanced levels. Now pay attention. Push-ups aren't just for the chest and triceps, as many people think. They also work the shoulders, core, including abs and lower back, and even hip stabilizers. In other words, when done correctly, push-ups strengthen the entire body. But to achieve this, you need to follow the proper technique, avoid common mistakes, and learn how to make the exercise more challenging with smart variations. First, forget the idea of just going up and down quickly. Push-ups aren't about quantity, but quality. Every rep should be done with control and full muscle activation. Now let's go step by step on how to perform the perfect push-up. Start in a high plank position with your hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart and your fingers pointing slightly outward. Your feet can be together or apart, depending on what feels more comfortable for you. The important thing is to keep your body straight from head to heels. Now comes a crucial detail. The way down is just as important as the way up. Bend your elbows and lower your body slowly, keeping your elbows at a 45-degree angle to your torso. Don't let your arms flare out too much to the sides, as this can overload shoulders and increase the risk of injury. Ideally, your chest should come close to the floor without touching it. If you can't go that low at first, lower yourself as much as you can while maintaining control. As you push up, press against the floor forcefully, extending your arms until you return to the starting position. But here's another important detail. Avoid fully locking your elbows at the top of the movement. Keeping slight tension in your muscles improves the efficiency of the exercise, and don't forget to breathe. Inhale on the way down and exhale as you push up. This helps maintain stability and improves your performance. Now that you know how to perform a push-up correctly, let's talk about the most common mistakes. The first mistake is letting your hips drop or raising them too high. If your hips are sagging, it means your core isn't properly activated. If they're too high, you're taking the focus away from the muscles that should be working. The solution: keep your abs engaged and pay attention to your posture. Another common mistake is not controlling the descent and simply dropping toward the floor. Many people try to do as many reps as possible and end up sacrificing movement quality. The descent must be controlled because this phase activates a large portion of the muscles. If you only focus on the push-up phase, you're missing out on a big part of the exercise's benefits. A classic mistake is placing your hands too far forward or too far back. This can cause shoulder discomfort and reduce the efficiency of the push-up. The ideal hand position is directly under the shoulders or slightly wider, depending on the variation you want to do. Speaking of variations, there are many ways to make push-ups more challenging as you get stronger. If you don't yet have the strength to do a full push-up, start with knee push-ups or incline push-ups, placing your hands on a bench or wall. This reduces the load on your arms and allows you to build strength gradually. Now, if the traditional push-up is too easy for you, try more difficult variations like the diamond push-up, which puts more emphasis on the triceps, or the archer push-up, which challenges balance and arm strength even more. Another advanced variation is the explosive push-up, where you push off the ground with enough force to lift your hands off the floor, sometimes even clapping before landing. These push-ups help develop power and are great for improving performance in harder exercises like the bench press. And if you really want to take your push-ups to the next level, try the one-arm push-up, which requires incredible core control and much greater upper body strength. Now, you might be wondering how many push-ups you should do daily to see results. That depends on your current fitness level. For beginners, starting with 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps is a great start. If you're more experienced, you can increase to 4 or 5 sets of 15 to 20 reps. The most important thing is to always challenge your muscles and aim for progress. Number 3. Squat. If you want to build real muscle, you can't ignore squats.
This is simply one of the most important exercises for those seeking strength and endurance and leg definition. But here's a detail that few people notice. Squats don't just work your legs and glutes.
They also activate your core, improve mobility, and even help strengthen your joints. And the best part, you don't need any equipment, and you can do it anywhere. Now, what many people get wrong is treating squats as a simple down and up movement. Proper execution makes all the difference, and if done correctly, it can transform your physique in no time. To start, the initial position is essential. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, and your toes slightly pointed outward. This small detail and foot positioning changes everything, because it allows for a more natural movement and reduces the risk of knee strain. The next step is maintaining the right posture. Avoid arching your back or letting your knees misalign with your feet. Your spine should remain straight and your core engaged to protect your lower back. Now comes the descent. Instead of simply bending your knees, think about pushing your hips back, as if you were trying to sit on an invisible bench. This better activates the glutes and prevents your weight from shifting entirely onto your knees. Ideally, you should lower yourself until your thighs are parallel to the ground or lower, always respecting your mobility. If you feel discomfort in your knees or lower back, it could be due to a lack of flexibility or improper form to rise. Press your heels against the ground and return to the starting position without locking your knees at the top, keeping tension in your muscles. Now let's talk about the most common mistakes people make with squats. The first mistake is allowing the knees to cave inward during the descent. This can increase the risk of injury and reduce muscle activation. The solution is to focus on slightly pushing your knees outward during the cruisement. The second mistake is leaning too far forward. If this happens, you may have limited ankle or hip mobility. To fix this, try stretching those areas more before your workout and focus on keeping your chest open during execution. Another common mistake is lifting your heels off the ground during the descent. This means your weight is shifting entirely to the balls of your feet, which can strain your knees. The correct way is to keep your feet fully planted on the ground and distribute your weight evenly. Now, if regular squats feel easy, there are many ways to increase the difficulty and keep progressing. If you're a beginner, you can start with chair squats, where you sit and stand to get used to the movement. For those who have already mastered the traditional version, Bulgarian split squats are an excellent option, as they work each leg individually and improve balance. Another challenging variation is the pistol squat, single leg squat, where only one leg performs the movement while the other extends forward. This is one of the most difficult bodyweight exercises and requires a lot control and strength. As for the number of reps and sets, it depends on your level. For beginners, 3 sets of 15 repetitions are a great start. For more experienced individuals, increasing the number of sets to 4 or 5 can add more challenge. Another interesting strategy is to perform pause squats, holding the lowest position for a few seconds before rising. This increases time under tension and accelerates muscle gains. If you truly want strong and well-defined legs, you need to include squats in your routine consistently. Do them at least 3 times a week and gradually increase volume and intensity. Over time, you'll notice how this simple movement can remarkably transform your body and strength. Now that we've covered squats, let's move on to the next essential exercise, lunges. If you think lunges are just a squat variation, wait until you understand how they can correct muscle imbalances and increase the strength of each leg individually. Number 2. Lunges. If you want strong and well-proportioned legs, you need to start taking lunges seriously. Many people think this exercise is just a different squat, but the truth is that it plays a unique role in muscle development. Unlike the traditional squat, which works both legs simultaneously, the lunges are unilateral exercise, meaning it works one leg at a time. This helps correct muscle imbalances, improves balance, and strengthens stabilizing muscles, something that few exercises can do as effectively. Now, why is this so important? Because even if we don't realize it, we always have one side of our body stronger than the other. In a squat, for example, one leg might be compensating for the other without you even noticing. With lunges, however, each leg is forced to work independently, ensuring that the muscles develop evenly. This not only improves the aesthetics of the legs, making them more symmetrical, but also helps prevent injuries and future pain, especially in the knees and lower back. Now, let's get to what really matters: how to do lunges correctly. The first step is to take a big step forward, keeping your feet hip-width apart. The size of this step makes all the difference. If it's too short, you'll put excessive strain on your knees. If it's too long, you may lose stability and compromise muscle activation. Ideally, when you lower yourself, the front knee should form a 90-degree angle, while the back knee moves toward the floor without touching it. Keep your torso upright, engage your core, and look straight ahead. As you rise, push through the heel of your front foot to properly activate your glutes and quadriceps. Now, one common mistake many people make in this exercise is letting the front knee go too far past the toes. This increases pressure on the joint and can cause long-term pain. The correct way is to keep the knee aligned with the ankle without pushing too far forward. Another common mistake is losing balance and swaying during the descent. If this happens to you, it could be due to a lack of core strength or weak stabilizing muscles. The solution is to start with static lunges, keeping your feet in the same position and simply lowering and rising before trying more dynamic variations. Speaking of variations, if you want to challenge your muscles even more, you can try different ways of doing lunges. The reverse lunge, for example, where you step backward instead of forward, reduces knee impact and activates the glutes more. Another interesting variation is the Bulgarian split squat, where you rest your back foot on a bench or chair, placing even more emphasis on the front leg. If you want to add explosiveness to the movement, you can try jump lunges, which increase intensity and improve muscle power. Now, regarding reps and sets, a good strategy is to do 3-4 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions per leg, ensuring that each side of the body works with the same intensity. If you want more of a challenge, you can hold dumbbells in your hands or slow down the movement to increase time under tension. If you're not doing lunges yet, start now. This exercise is a true game changer for leg development, and if incorporated consistently into your workout, results will appear quickly. Now that we've talked about legs, let's move on to an exercise that works one of the most important parts of the body, the core. And no, I'm not just talking about abs, but all the muscles responsible for maintaining posture and body stability. The next exercise is the plank, one of the most effective movements for strengthening the core and improving muscular endurance. Number 1, plank. If there's one exercise that seems simple but can completely transform your strength and stability, it's the plank. And I know a lot of people underestimate this movement because it doesn't involve repetition or weight. But the truth is that the plank is one of the most efficient exercises for strengthening the core, improving posture, and preventing injuries. If you want to have a truly strong core and a more stable, balanced body, you need to learn how to do the plank the right way. Now, before we get into execution, let's talk about what exactly the core is and why it's so important. Many people think the core is just the abs, but in reality, it includes all the muscles around the body's central region, such as the obliques, lower back, transverse abdominis, and even the glutes. In other words, a strong core not only improves abdominal definition, but also protects the spine, enhances posture, and helps with the execution of practically any other exercise. And that's exactly what the plank does. So how do you perform the plank correctly? It seems simple, but believe me, many people do it wrong and waste the potential of this exercise. To start, place your forearms on the floor with your elbows aligned directly below your shoulders. Your legs should be extended back, with your feet resting on the ground and your body completely straight. This is the first important point. Your body should form a straight line from your heels to your head, no letting your hips drop or raising them too high to truly activate the core. Contract your abs and glutes, keeping the position firm and stable. Now, let's talk about the most common mistakes and how to fix them. One of the most frequent mistakes is keeping the hips too high. Many people do this without realizing it, but the problem is that this shifts the load from the abs to the shoulders, reducing the effectiveness of the exercise. The other extreme is letting the hips drop, which overloads the lower back and can cause back pain. The key is to engage your core muscles and maintain perfect alignment. Another common mistake is holding your breath during the plank. This is a classic mistake that can make you tired faster and even cause discomfort. The ideal approach is to breathe in a controlled and steady manner, helping you maintain endurance for longer. Now, how long should you hold the plank? Many people think they need to stay still for 5 minutes to see results. But that's not true. The most important thing is not the total time, but the quality of the muscle contraction. If you're just holding the position without really engaging the core, you're doing it wrong. A good strategy for beginners is to start with 3 sets of 30 seconds to a minute. As it gets easier, gradually increase the time or add variations to make the exercise more challenging. Speaking of variations, the traditional plank is already great, but if you want an extra level of challenge, you can try some more intense variations. The side plank, for example, focuses on the oblique muscles and further improves balance. Another interesting variation is the plank with shoulder taps, where you alternate hands touching your shoulders, challenging your core stability. If you want to activate your lower abs even more, you can try the plank with leg lifts, which adds extra stimulation to the core and glutes. Now, an important detail: the plank alone won't give you a shredded abdomen. Yes, it strengthens the muscles and improves posture, but abdominal definition depends on a lower body fat percentage. If your goal is to make your abs visible, besides doing planks, it's essential to combine your workout with a balanced diet and aerobic exercises to reduce body fat. So, if you're not yet including the plank in your routine, it's time to change that. It is one of the most efficient exercises for developing core strength and improving your performance in any other workout. Do it at least 3 times a week and try to progress to more difficult variations whenever possible. And if you're looking to really fire up those lower abs, the plank with leg lifts is a game changer. It activates your entire core and glutes. But here's the crucial part you need to know: simply doing planks won't give you that shredded six-pack. While planks are fantastic for strengthening the muscles and improving your posture, abdominal definition relies heavily on reducing body fat. To see those muscles, you need to combine your planks with a well-rounded diet and some cardiovascular exercise to shed that excess fat. So if you haven't been including planks in your routine, now is the time to start. This powerhouse move is one of the most effective exercises for building core strength, and it'll elevate your performance in every other workout you do.
Let's make your fitness goals a reality. Aim to do this at least 3 times a week, and challenge yourself by progressing to more difficult variations whenever you can. Keep pushing your limits.